We begin this hour as a major police operation is underway in Sydney South, where 4 people have been injured in a suspected stabbing. Tom Connell is at the scene in Engadine. Tom, good afternoon to you. Once again, what do we know so far?
Just after 9:15 this morning here in the south of Sydney, there was a car accident. Now, a lot of onlookers just simply thought it was a standard car accident. You can see behind me a white car that went through an intersection and crashed into a blue car. Now, Steve Mace, the Cronulla Sharks chair, he was actually on his way to a football game, taking his son to an elimination final, and he stopped thinking, let's make sure everyone's okay. He could see it was a major accident with airbags deployed. When he went over to the car, he heard screaming from the man who was driving the car, but even louder screaming from the female passenger. When he got there, he realised the man was frantically stabbing that woman. He and another passerby tried to get that woman out. It was very difficult to do so. They eventually managed to do so. And the other passerby who helped, he was also stabbed by that man who was armed with a Stanley knife. Now, he described that scene and how that rescue took place.
I was then trying to drag her out of the car to stop the stabbing. He was sort of swiping at us. There was another gentleman that came to help. That poor gentleman tried to grab her legs and didn't realise he had the knife. He copped a gash from sort of up here down to his belly button, poor fella. So in between that, we finally got her out between the seatbelt, and then we laid her down. He's then got out.
At that point in time, the woman was out of the car and being helped by onlookers. The man was out of the car as well. Steve Mace said his job at that point, he saw, was just trying to confront him and keep him away.
All right, sorry to interrupt, Tom. We're going to the live presser now with police.
Collided with another vehicle, and as a result of that, a number of members of the community stopped to assist both occupants from both those vehicles. As the community members were assisting one of the females out of one vehicle, the male got out of that vehicle. He was armed with what we believe to be a box cutter, and the female had obviously sustained a number of injuries from an altercation inside that vehicle. Emergency services arrived very quickly afterwards. That male was engaged by the police. A short foot pursuit occurred. A taser deployment was initiated, and that person was taken into custody. As a result of that, one of our officers received a large laceration to his wrist area, and he's currently at St George Hospital. The male also inflicted a number of injuries to himself prior to police arrival, and he is currently at Liverpool Hospital in a serious condition, but I may let my counterpart from New South Wales Health to give us an update on those injuries. So basically we've had 6 people that were injured today, 2 from the accident, who have been obviously conveyed to hospital, and 4 others with knife injuries. So that includes one of the bystanders that assisted the female, the male offender, and obviously the police officer was cut as well. But I might get my offsider to have a chat about those injuries.
Thank you, Superintendent Falls. As Superintendent Falls has indicated, a number of 000 calls were received at about 9 o'clock this morning. New South Wales Ambulance dispatched multiple resources to the scene, and we treated and assessed 6 patients. 2 of those patients were injured in the motor vehicle accident that was described before. 4 of them had suffered stab wounds. 1 male patient had sustained slash wounds to his arms and his neck, was transported to Liverpool Hospital in a critical condition, and is now said to be in a serious but stable condition. A female patient in her 40s was transported to St George Hospital with multiple stab wounds and is still said to be in a critical condition. Another female patient was transported to St George with an abdominal stab wound and is said to be in a stable condition, serious but stable condition. And as Superintendent Falls indicated, a police officer sustained a large laceration to his arm and is said to be in a stable condition. Thank you.
Just one for you. Is this gentleman known to police?
He is known to police for a number of matters. What I can say about the 2 occupants in the car where the female was stabbed and the driver self-inflicted a number of wounds to himself, they were in a domestic relationship. Again, there's no history that we're aware of. There's no apprehended violence orders between the 2, but we're definitely domestic related.
Is he known for domestic violence offences?
Early days in relation to the investigation, nothing to do with the...
Is he known for domestic violence offences?
Early days in relation to the investigation, nothing to do with the, pardon me, the victim in this incident. Again, but that will form part of our inquiries.
Potentially other victims, though?
Again, that will be part of the ongoing inquiries.
The incident that happened in the car, did that happen when the car had stopped, or was that before?
We believe the female was being assaulted in the car whilst the male was driving the vehicle at the same time.
Does that include, you believe that she had been stabbed before the car crash?
We believe so, yes. Yeah. A number of witnesses mentioned the car was driving quite erratically at the time, and we believe that's when the assault was occurring in the car, and as a result they then collided with another vehicle.
A lot of bravery on display today. What do you make of those bystanders who rushed to help?
Oh, look, amazing work. Again, they've just turned up thinking it was just a normal motor vehicle accident, so they've obviously gone to render assistance to both people, and then they were faced with a male armed with a box cutter. Quite frightening, but very, very brave on those people's behalf.
And the police officer, how's the police officer doing?
Doing well. He's doing quite well. Again, obviously the laceration to his wrist. We don't think it's too serious at this stage, but again, great work by the police, great work by the emergency services that turned up in a very, very short time. Both the male and the female had some very, very serious lacerations, and obviously the good work by the police and New South Wales Health and the other emergency services definitely helped.
Is it clear what began the assault by the man?
No, we don't know. Yeah.
Her changing the radio station by a witness.
I can't comment on that. I don't know anything about that at this stage. Again, we will be reaching out to the community, so any information that anyone has in relation to what they may have seen today, heard, if they had any dash cam, if they recorded anything, if they could reach out to Crime Stoppers or Sutherland Police. We would love to hear from them and follow it up from there.
Just on the self-inflicted wounds, do you believe that they were intentional or were they done in the course of the altercation that followed the crash?
Again, we're thinking it was intentional on the male's behalf, but again, that's still part of our inquiries.
At what time do you believe he began injuring himself? Was it after he was tasered beforehand?
Again, he was. The allegation is that he is covered in blood when he exits the vehicle, whether or not that's his blood or the victim's blood. But he's definitely seen to injure himself after exiting the vehicle.
Where's he from?
They're from southwest Sydney. I'm not too sure of the exact address at this stage.
And what was his age? Sorry,
So he was. He is born in '66, so that makes him 58, and the female, I believe, is 48.
And that's the woman in the critical condition was the passenger?
Yes, yes.
Are there any other really serious injuries in hospital at the moment? Or just, she's the only critical?
No, and him as well.
And him?
Yeah.
A fair few innocent people involved in this. What kind of a tolerance is there for that kind of behaviour?
Oh, there's no tolerance for any type of violence in the community. Again, we believe this is obviously just a fairly isolated incident between the two, but it did bring in other members of the community, unfortunately, who were just doing the right thing and being good Samaritans and trying to help people out, but unfortunately got involved as well.
And can you tell us how long you think it was between the crash occurring and then him being tasered?
We pretty much had police on scene within 6 minutes. So again, very, very short amount of time between the self-harm, which we believe may have occurred in the car at the same time or immediately after the collision. And then again, obviously, when he saw police, he decided to leave the scene and was tasered after that.
One of the witnesses was saying that he might have been saying some like white supremacist things or sort of yelling abuses and things. Have you heard anything about what he might have been?
I haven't heard what he's said, but again, all that information that's coming through on social media we'll definitely look at and follow up all those inquiries.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're right, Aaron.
That is police providing an update on the crash and stabbing in Engadine. 6 people injured, 2 from the accident, 4 with knife injuries. Some are in stable but critical condition. A number of 000 calls were taken from 9 a.m. The man responsible is known to police. It's believed he was in a domestic relationship with the woman who was in the car. No AVOs, but domestic related, the police said. And for anyone that has any further information, you are advised to call Crime Stoppers, and we'll keep updating you on this situation and continue to be going live to Tom Connell, who is at the scene.